to you from the Chi-Town, holding it down. I hope everybody's doing well. I hope everybody is having a happy, 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 happy day today. Whew, hunty baby. I'm coming back to y'all with part two of Animated Insanity, the Black Attack. Mm-mm-mm. I'm feeling a little bit better. Fever broke a little bit, and I think I'm getting there. I'm getting there. I'm on the upside of the mountain with this here bug. So thank you to all the love and support and check-ins, text messages, and prayers. Prayer works. I don't care how cliche people think that is. Prayer works. And when all you have is God, your faith is all you need. So we're gonna jump back into it with the Black Attack Part Deux and this animated insanity uh, that I rolled upon, which now has a whole whopping 514 views on it. And we're gonna peep some of the comments too while we're at it in the comment section of this particular interview that was done by the Business with Beat. Bonica Wilson is where I just really literally stumbled upon it. And again, forced myself to watch it because it's like a train wreck. You don't want to see that happening. You don't want to know that you're witnessing a dangerous situation unfold, but you can't stop looking because you want to see what's going to happen. You know, it's horrible to say the least. But here we are, right? So once again, we're gonna speed it up a couple of hairs, right? Because it's very dry, as we all know. And let's just sit back and look and dissect and discuss, shall we? This animated insanity Black Attack part two with the Black Mamba Marceau, Tinkerbell Tisha, and Miss Bonica Wilson. Okay. I almost skipped doing part two because I just, me, I'm one and done. Once I get my feelers tuned in to the bullish, I catch and release because I have enough on my spiritual plate right this moment. And I'm trying to hash that on out and purge the baggage that I've been carrying. And I don't need anybody else's insanity to sink in. Okay. So let's go the second half. We're at 28 minutes and 38 seconds of Marriage Business Mondays with the Scots as a guest. All right. Let's peep. I sped it up, y'all.
Shepard said is that you have to have a standard operating procedures for your family. So the issue is not about just how you acquire the wealth, but how you maintain the wealth and what does that mean and how do you operate as a family. So I told him, I said, even if you wanted, honestly, I don't care if my son wants to work at Walgreens for the rest of his life, all right? Because he's going to be set up financially to have to be able to make that decision. And the requirements of him doing that says, listen, I don't care if you want to have a desk job, you want to do whatever, that's fine, but you're going to learn how to trade on the internet. So he's taking the Wall Street Trapper class this summer because the goal is saying that even if you don't want to, I don't care if you don't want to do that. You're gonna know how to put investor money into this right here because the truth is entrepreneurialism looks different. I remember my dad gave me a Rolex when I graduated college. I mean, that's the first gift. It's not like we're getting Rolexes, but he gave me a Rolex when I graduated college. His Rolex. He gave me his Rolex because I told him that's what I want, and he said, you can never leave a legacy if you don't start one. But I remember with that same Rolex, me and Reese owned a pool company, and I'd have to pawn that Rolex to buy tools in the beginning of the summer, just so I could make it through, and then eventually get it back when I was finished on turn to profit. So the point is that that's what entrepreneurialism looked like for me, but it doesn't have to look like that for our kids. Our kids they don't have to climb up the rough side of the mountain. They can enter business through real partnerships or they can buy existing businesses. They can be angel investors in existing business. They can come in and talk to the existing business how they're doing things. So entrepreneurialism is not always about getting a beeper and having people and some passing out cards at the gas station with tools in your hand. It looks different now. And so I think that
Where do you think this fool learned that from? You know he didn't learn that on his own. Marceau is not that innovative to go do research upon research to learn the different avenues of getting into being an entrepreneur. Okay. We know that Melody lit the fire. Okay. He had no idea what he wanted to do with himself at that age that they met the Holts, or I should say, Melody met the Scotts. Correction, Melody met the Scotts and introduced them into the real estate game. Now, let's go. I'm just, you know me.
when we talk about legacy and passing it down from generation to generation, it does not mean sweat equity inside of a place or having your own LLC or anything like that. If that's what you want to do, that's fine. But it also can be leveraging your skill set and some things that you learn how to manipulate the market or whatever it is to make sound investments.
Okay, I like it. All right, so for those, I don't know if you guys saw the first Marriage Business Monday. We had the Laytons on, and we had Ronnie and Shamari DeVoe. That was fun. And one of the things they talked about was kind of going through their struggles and deciding to get counseling. And one of the things that she mentioned was, Ronnie saying, as a Black man, I'm not about to be, doing this and this and this, having somebody come tell me what to do in my marriage. And so as we're looking at, as I look at you, Marcel, are there times when it does get tough? Because you guys, God, Lord knows you're managing a lot. I mean, to be managing all the businesses, the nonprofits. Tisha, I didn't even know about the hair care line. My God, that's a whole other one that I didn't even know about. To be managing all that and the marriage, there has to be tough times when it gets tough. And the whole, I didn't even throw in the reality TV show and all the mess, the comments, to your point, people talking about stuff that they only know a smidget about and not even a full picture. Do you guys have like a safety, a go-to for, who you guys can have safe conversations with when you guys don't agree? Or do you consistently get some type of counseling or support? Or do you just kind of, because I asked them, do they have consistency like in their therapy and counseling sessions, or they call it a relationship coach? Or do they just kind of, when they need triage, when they're feeling like we can't do this on our own anymore, we bring them in? So is there a method that you guys use that helps you guys kind of keep stable and have a stabilized relationship, especially when things get tough?
No. We need a marriage coach. We need a therapist. Like, we really do. We really should have that. Because even within the family, like when I look through my family, it's not like couples or married couples in my family that I feel like I can even talk to get sound advice from. So it's me and God. But no, we really, really need.
And that explains it, folks. When you don't have a solid foundation, it's called generational dysfunction, curses passed down generation to generation. Well, I was raised this way. I grew up seeing this. Here is the textbook example of what I've been preaching and harping on for eons, even to my own parents. It's hard for you to expect your children to have healthy relationships in their adult life if they never grew up seeing healthy, functional relationships within their family structure, especially the baby boomer era of parents who are close to 90 or in their 90s now. Okay. This is the divide that happens with Gen Xers and the disconnect of them not being awake enough to do the research on their ilk, on their shadows, their demons, their traumas. Then you turn around, you're holding these traumas, you meet someone you trauma bond with, you get married, and then you start to leak and bleed those same traumas over onto your children and offspring. So, this is why I always say marriage is a beautiful thing, yes. Very sacred, very, very, very heavy responsibility, very serious choice to make. And just because you do get married and have a long standing marriage doesn't mean it's healthy. That doesn't make you successful because you can manage someone else's emotions for a long period of time. That's not a successful marriage. Just because you turn your head to someone's disrespect, abuse, neglect does not make it a successful, healthy marriage. Okay. You take a vow to each other. before God to show up the best version of yourself every day. And that it should be a growth journey, a journey of growth, not a journey of staying the same person, doing the same thing, animated insanity, expecting different results from your partner or from your children.
Somebody. I think that at times I have to look through other couples and kind of see their struggle and extract what we can from them. I have a challenge when it comes to, therapy or the therapist is that I simply don't, I can't accept direction from anyone who doesn't know where I'm at. Bottom line.
This is why it's important to stay humble and understand that marriage is a journey, not a destination. And if you don't know yourself well enough and you're always seeking outside validations from mistresses, paramours, and jump offs, and you define your manhood through being as gruff and vile and disrespectful and emotionally unavailable as possible, that's why there's a resistance to marriage counseling. Same thing with parenting classes. You know, it's nothing wrong with taking a parenting class. You could be an excellent parent. That doesn't mean you cannot glean something from a parenting class, okay? Or coaching, you know? Everybody has places where they need a little bit of help, where they need a little bit of guidance, where they need a little bit of insight from a different perspective that is not biased to one side or the other, much like this damn interview right here. In my opinion, I think this is somebody that is cool with the Scots, who is going to interview them in their best light, okay? Because it's clear that neither one of them can take constructive criticism from a peer, whether it's someone who they like or dislike. Okay? That tells a lot. Let's go.
All right. So if I call
Yeah, you
you,
sound like Ronnie DeVoe.
yeah, I can't. I give the analogy is that if I called you up and said, hey, I'm lost, and you said, make a right, and I'm like, you don't know where I'm at. You don't see the world through my eyes. And if you start asking me questions and saying, okay, all right, where are you trying to get to? All right, what's on your right-hand side? Well, I see a Chick-fil-A and I see a bank on the left. Okay, you're in a university? Yeah, the sign says this right here. So you asking more questions, you're starting to see the world through my eyes. Now you can say, make a right. And I have full confidence that you know where I'm at and that you can guide me to where you're at. But the second you come in, there's a lot of therapists that want to have all the answers, right? That's one. And then the other one is it's a little more challenging as far as a marriage is that, and maybe this is what men feel like, all right? And I'm not saying I feel this way, but maybe men feel this way. They feel like, I'll be doggone if my wife won't listen to me communicate regular words and we got to go listen to another therapist tell her the exact same thing I just said. So, that's like before we start going through the extra stuff, let's just.
Maybe your regular words are too regular. Maybe they're too basic and dry, and she's not bright enough to catch on to those regular words. We all know that there is a challenge of arrested development there that has been inherited from her first teacher, her mother. Okay? So regular words might not resonate the way that if someone translates those regular words for her or your partner, him, because I remember in my marriage, my former marriage, my regular words did not resonate after a while with my spouse. I had to have them translated through an unbiased, trusted person who had marriage experience, who was in a healthy marriage. And once we did that, things got a little bit better. However, it's work. If you want change and growth, you have to keep doing it until it sticks. Not 2 or 3 days, okay, pacify you, partner. Now I can go back to my old ways because that's where I'm comfortable. That's not a healthy, successful way to communicate with regular words, okay? And sometimes you could disrespect someone so much until their ears turn off, whether they're regular words or words that are profound enough for them to resonate. They just ain't trying to hear what the hell you talk about. Okay, let's go.
Strengthen the communication. And after we feel that the communication is being effective and I'm being heard and I'm listening to you and things like that, then maybe we can take it to the next level of getting a third party involved.
Yeah. Well, I will say the Laytons, one thing I really liked about hearing kind of Ronnie and Shamari's story and getting support from the Laytons, and now they're coaches. They still coach them. one thing that I heard was they do this like 3-step approach that I love. And he said it was, his name is Martez. Martez said they have the comforter, the counselor, the coach. That's the method. So first you have to go have the comforter, which, if you're Christians, that's, Christ, you get comforted, you have to get healing first. So that's the comforter, right? Then the second part is the counseling. Now you have some, we all went to college, so you have theory. The book says this. Here is the information. This is the data. This is the intelligence. And that's wonderful to get the counsel. But now, what's the application of that look like? Because we go to school, we see the books, but like teach, when you went for the development and all that, but when you start doing the actual work, you start writing them contracts and doing the deals and stuff. Now you're like, okay, this is the application, and there's so much learning that even takes place in the application that the book didn't teach you. The book gave you the theory, but you guys had real life. You saw this, you were like, oh, they ain't tell me about this kind. I didn't know this was part of it.
I'm still trying to figure out where the contracts are that Tisha's writing up. Where are all these big contracts, these multi-million-dollar deals, these developments that are just popping up left and right all over Huntsville under the name of the Scott's businesses, whether it be Schultz, Scott, was it Scott Realty or whatever? Where are they? Are they completed? Are they still in progress? Why is it that you are not discussing the challenges of having these enormous lawsuits hanging over your head? And how are you tackling that to resolve these issues with these people so you don't wind up in regular jail? Okay, let's go.
Negotiation. I didn't know this was going to be a conflict. So it's like, that's the coaching. That's the part that says, okay, you in the game now. Here's the real life application of that. Oh, the book didn't teach you about this kind of, this barrier, or, that this site had this issue going on with it.
Right.
Let me give you real life coaching on it. And I love that, because I was like, I've gone to counseling. We've gone to counseling, my husband and I. And I love the 3-step approach. Like, okay, first you got to heal, then you get the theory, you get the whole intelligence, the information. Now you get the application through the coaching, and that's what the coach does. And so they said they kind of just check in with them as coaches that hit their husband and wife team every 6 months. And I love that. I was like, that is great. That's just, so you just every once in a while have a 6-month check-in call, just to be, oh, yeah, we're good, we're still great, coach, thank you. Or no, this is one thing that we saw come up. How would you counsel us through that? Or how would you coach us through that? What, would you change the play? Real life, I need to change the play. This play is not working,
Right.
So I love that. And so definitely the Laytons were just highly recommended after that session when we talked with Ronnie and Shamari, and they said that they've been connected to them for 14 years or so now.
Yeah, when we did the marriage walk, I was like, they seem like a really good couple, and I like the vibe and everything. You have to find that connection too when you're looking for a relationship coach or therapy. Like, you really have to find the right connection for you and your spouse. So.
Yeah, I think I definitely, rather than see a therapist, I'd definitely rather see a couple in therapy. Just because hands down, I mean, this guy can tell you about all of this stuff. And I can look at his wife. I remember we were talking to Dr. Francis. Yeah. And this is one example of extraction. I asked him, I said, hey, he's like, well, in marriage you have fires and you got to put out fires. I'm like, man, don't talk to me about fires unless they're real fires. I'm saying, what is a fire that you're dealing with now? And, I wasn't being a jerk. I'm just trying to find out, what are you at 40 years dealing with? And she said, in a very transparent moment, she said time. And she said time. And immediately you said, wow, me and Tisha are dealing with the exact same thing. We're dealing with the exact same thing, which is time. And it helped me understand that time is not a problem you solve. It's a problem you manage. It's something, so there are things, so we understand certain things. Hey, garbage goes out on Thursday. That's a problem you solve, right? We need X. These are problems you solve. But when it comes down to things that you manage, your time, your affection, your what you intake, all these different, your money, these are things that you have to manage. Meaning just like.
What money? You don't have any money, Marcel. Y'all don't have no money. You've been taking people's money, scamming people out of their money. No wonder Tisha and Stormy get along so well. They have zero accountability to their clientele or customer base. There is no remorse for the people who are still waiting for a resolution from you as a business owner. And your character, moral compass, and standards are in the basement. Okay? Let's go. A little bit more, y'all.
Just like driving, you can't drive straight for 90% of the road and say, I'm gonna take this last 10% off. Right. Something in your hand has to always be on the wheel. And so when it comes to time, when it comes to certain things in your marriage, you have to always have under control. You have to always be managing.
That's right. Always be managing. Okay. Always be managing. I like that. All right. I have to ask you that this before we leave, guys, because you guys, we talked about the businesses. We talked about bringing the kids into the businesses. We talked about keeping the marriage good by, investing in it and having a strategy and even getting, coaching if we need it. So one thing I'd like to ask you is, as we think about this dynasty that you guys are building, and just know this before I ask this last question, because you guys are an example. I mean, you guys are, people look to you, and people can say a lot of negative things if they want to, but you guys are building a dynasty, and a lot of people look to you as a source of strength, as a source of experience, as a source of doing it. You know, you guys are doing it. You know, and maybe I'm sure there are days when they get tough. You know, when it's tough and it's hard, and on the tough days, you guys are somehow still managing it through. And I'm covering it and praying for you guys because I want to see you.
Somebody please point to me in the comments section. Drop them eagle feathers if you feel me. Hit the like button. Please subscribe and share. But somebody please outline to me in the comment section, if you will kindly tell me where they are doing it. How are they doing it? I don't see it. Okay. No matter how much digging I do, I don't see a successful business couple who are creating good, sound legacy for their children. I see the opposite. Now, if I'm wrong, drop it in the comment section along with them eagle feathers. Let's go.
You guys win. And there are so many people that want to see you guys win, even though you hear from the ones who don't want to see you win the most because they the loudest, they the squeaky wheel. But there's the quiet ones that just pray and cover you guys that you probably don't ever hear from us. But we want to see you win. And just like when I was with Ronnie and Shamari and the Laytons, we talked about, unfortunately, we, the ones who win, don't get enough airplay because they like the messy. Because they want us to think that we're losing in our community. They want to think that we can't make it, but we are making it, and you guys are making it, and you're a source of strength. And even on the tough days, I want you guys to know that, you know, there are people covering y'all and wanting to see y'all win, want to see y'all grow them businesses, want to see y'all build that dynasty. And as you're leaving this legacy behind, talk a little bit about this nonprofit and what when Marceau and Tisha are no longer here and the kids are here and all the things are documented. There's some good about the reality TV show, even though they show the messiness. There's some lessons learned. I bet there's some documented things for your family that the kids will see. There's, you know, they have the negative, sure, but there's some documented things that I bet even for you guys to look back and say, we learned some things, our kids are learning some things, they're seeing, they're documenting some of this. When you guys think about the legacy that you guys will leave behind when Tisha and Marceau are no longer here, I know you guys have the nonprofit. Talk about the legacy that you guys are leaving behind, the things that you're working on to leave behind that will outlive you guys.
I feel like that's your thing.
No, sorry.
Oh, okay. So when we think about the nonprofit and the things that we want,
You see how she's always trying to pass it off on Marceau when it's time to explain things and elaborate? Tisha knows she's not a good speaker. She knows her lexicon is very small. She has to emulate the way other people speak. I picked up on that early on in this in the first season because Melody says as well a lot and also versus two. You know, me too. She'll say, well, that's, you know, the same goes for me as well. That's second register English, in case anybody didn't know. That's the appropriate way for educated people to frame their sentences. Me too is very remedial. Oh, same for me. That's another way. Oh, I resonate with that very well, very similar. When you're in the business world, sometimes you have to polish up some of the things that you say, and it comes out a little more eloquent, and it's very simple tweaks. Tisha doesn't have that natural ability to broaden her lexicon with synonyms to words that she would normally use in a relaxed conversation with someone at home or among friends. Oh, yeah, me too, honey. Same thing. I agree. Versus in a business setting, oh, yes, I also resonate with that. The, y'all feel where I'm going with this? Tisha's just not a good speaker, period. You know, it's a lot of fog. You know, that fog that we get when we're gaslit really severely. You feel me? So she's always, well, what do you think? Well, what you go ahead, you go first. Put say it with your chest. You can gossip, you can you can stir up a bunch of drama fluently. Words flow out when you're insulting another woman, when you're in resistance to another person's feedback to your behavior, okay? When you're called out on your professional victimhood each and every time you're backed into a corner, the words flow the ghetto hood boogerisms come out without a glitch. But when you are among a more professional setting, a more formal setting, you always chunking that hot potato over there till you hub it. Let's go. A little bit more.
To do with that is it's just about, honestly, I always felt like when God bless you, you bless others. And so to me, that's what it was all about. What we want to do, we're giving back to the community and being a staple in the community to leave that footprint behind, to show our kids that anything is possible. Like from where we came from, how we grew up. If my parents was able to overcome those things and do what they're doing right now within their lifetime, only imagine what the kids can do following behind our footsteps. Exactly. So that to me is what mainly what it's mostly about.
Yeah. I
Wow.
think that I think that the legacy for us as builders of things, of buildings, of people, of wealth, of a legacy, so to speak. I think the goal is for us in our community to understand that we can do exactly what we want to do, the way we want to do it, and we have that right, and we have that ability, and we have everything we need. So the challenge is exposing ourselves and our community to do it like we want to, do it. Be dope at it, and exactly. Building our.
You see what I mean? Be dope at it. Like, who are you? You're not dope at anything but being a dope, a dunce. Okay? You see them synonyms in there? Uh, what up, dope? For a 45-year-old man, that's how you talk to people, that's how you greet people. Again, you are your brand. If you want to be urban hip hop or whatever, you need to understand that there's a certain amount of professionalism you must always cling to, even though you might be that relaxed type of personality. You don't want people to see you as, you know, uh, intimidating. I got a lot of that myself as an entrepreneur. People that they seem like they low key grovel, and I'm like, no, just because I know a lot of people, and I rub shoulders with somewhat important folk, you don't have to do that with me. We can build, we can converse, and just I'm just another tax paying citizen working hard, trying to provide a good positive example of leadership in my lane, which was education, healthcare for Black community, good quality healthcare, awareness to special needs in the Black community. My passion is autism spectrum disorders and pervasive developmental delay disorders and challenges of that nature, focusing on planning and how to strategize and how to parent children with special needs into adulthood. Those things people understood. That was my work. And even in casual conversation with neighbors and people like that, I wasn't using slang. I steered away from slang and profanity, and when I stepped away from all that to move out of state, I lost a little bit of polish because I developed a potty mouth due to the things that life brought to my path, but very challenging. Okay. Now that I've survived that, I have to polish myself back up again to segue into professionalism so that I can rebuild in the self employment lane. I hope that makes sense, Marcel, because you have a huge word salad and none of it ever really truly makes sense. And you don't really land the plane. It never really just, you know, it never really touches down successfully for me. I just feel like I lose brain cells whenever I try to follow your points. So let's do this here. Let's hop down here in this comment section, okay? Because it was tickling me a little bit at some of the things people were saying, which just further confirms the truth. Okay, so we got a couple nice ones. If they like it, I love it. Wishing them with many more years of success and love if it works for them and that's all for them that and that's all that matters. One thing about Marcel is he's a good talker, okay? Love the conversation about black wealth leaving the hood, rooting for them. Love this interview. You were very respectful and professional. Belinda Taylor says, it sounds good, but Marcel, you never finish a project. Show us a finished project so you can get the praise. And Lorraine Green said, I agree. Shamika Sutton, the marriage wasn't tested with the butt pic that Tisha found in Marcel's phone before they were on reality TV. What about when Marcel humiliated her and refused to renew their vows in Vegas? Or was it when he solely planned a trip to another country and didn't invite or take his family? Okay. Just waiting to see if Marceau is going to blame Mel and the millimeters for that $5 million lawsuit from Zen Gardens. Blaming and not taking accountability is something he's never done. So someone replies and goes, this was not about Mel or the millimeters. Take this comment to another channel. Y'all fans are delusional even when these people try and ignore y'all. You still find a way to be negative. Have y'all learned anything from Kiki's situation? You never know someone's mind frame. I wish the fans would just let these people live their lives. Some of you are too invested and it's sickening. This is what I mean. This is what I mean. This type of remedial monolithic idealism that if you just ignore the big purple elephant in the room, eventually it will slink off into a corner and stay out of sight, out of mind. Sweep that right on under the rug. Uh, Marcel low key brought up Melody because of the 7 weeks here, a week here, and a week over there comment, the slick dissing, all up through here. This is what I mean. You can't unring a bell, right? Once you start to tune in and sharpen the discernment of when you're being gaslit and when someone is negging, negging another person, discounting and dismissing another one's hardworking accomplishments, always having a one-upsmanship type of cloak behind the scenes competition of people that are really not checking for you like that. We don't want to dismantle anybody's business or family. We want you to go away like and have someone show us another example of black excellence. Okay, not a saboteur, not a professional liar or professional victims and deflectors. We want to see solid couples who have real life challenges and triumphs, displaying their God given talent and how they make money doing that. That's an entrepreneur. You find a passion and create a way for you to eat off of that hole, okay? Without punching a clock, huh? I mean, really. So here's another one. I must honestly thank you and apologize truly because earlier today I was enjoying some of your comments to others, and yes, ma'am, they are certainly true and fair. Thank you, and this is your platform, so no disrespect. Again, my apologies, and I must share. I truly like the name of your platform. It made me stop and click on it earlier, and I am humbly grateful to have success in both during all my years in my professional and 58 years marriage and business. I can write a book on both. Both are 100% challenging and surely not easy, yet marriage is what you both make of it together. And respect is key above all for any couple. But one thing is for sure, to myself included, we must all from this day forward come together, not tear each other apart. We must get ready and get busy getting folks registered to vote. Y'all see what I mean? Why are we talking? What are we doing? And I volunteer where we can. So again, I apologize. I'm hopeful that we will all vote like our lives depend on it because it does. Also, seriously, thanks again for reminding me of that old video. Didn't even realize that was up. I honestly do not visit it and truly only use this form for entertainment, politics, etc., etc., etc. And that's what made me click your video. The title is amazing and reminds me of the Black Love show that came on BET. The fact that is we cannot judge anyone ever. Marriage and business is 100% hard. In my opinion, of others should have nothing to do with your platform. I thank you. Okay, so this person must have said something out of sorts, ruffled some feathers, and circled the block to say they were apologetic. Last one, Marceau is good with the business, but he never finishes, so we can see the outcome. Okay, boom. So there you have it. There's a good little balance, of pro and con, for and against these here people on here who like to front and fake and floss for reality TV. Um, and truly bite the hand that laid the foundation for him. Listen, y'all tell me what you think in the comment section. I think it is nauseating. Uh, we just need to really stay on the platform of truth, facts, common sense, discernment, wisdom, and holding ourselves and each other accountable, and being humble enough to accept when you are receiving the proper correction or constructive criticism or input. It's nothing wrong with that. It's nothing wrong with going, hey, let me take a step back, let me listen. Even though I don't know this person personally or well, they might see something that I don't see because I'm emotionally attached to it. We have to balance our emotions, folk, especially when you're dealing with other people's hard earned money to the tune of real estate. So go check it out if you want to. The business would be Bonica Wilson. This is her channel. I can't take any more, but I love you and thank you for the love and the prayers. If you want to bless the channel, it is $ Queen 1971. That's QWEEN 1971. We're gonna be out for the moment, and please, 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 please take good care of yourself and each other. Kiss your babies, lock the door. Always remember that love wins. When all you have is strength, that's all you know how to do is be strong. Check on your strong friends. If you love them, then you will check on them. You will get emotionally invested and say, hey, you're really quiet over there. What's on your mind? Sometimes that's all we need is someone to show genuine concern. I'm out for right now. One love.